Hello and welcome back. In this video, we will be discussing some of the very basic stuff just to get you going. I guess that most of the people know that stuff, but just for the sake of introduction, I'm doing this. Now, Excel is a blank worksheet. That means that you have to build a building on it. It doesn't contain any values, any formulas. Oh, formulas are there, but you need to apply and you should have the knowledge about this. So we need to understand what kind of spreadsheet is this, what contents does it have. So Excel has some number of columns that is denoted as alphabets, and we have some rows here that is denoted as numbers. Now if we go on to this little boxes, you can see that when column and row intersects, it makes a small box which is known as cell. So in order to read the cell address, you can just notice that the column has automatically highlighted and the row is highlighted too. So we can easily read that we are in H column and 4th row. That means the cell address is H4. You even don't have to see the highlighted ones, as you can easily see the cell address right here. That is the name box. After knowing what is cell, we have to understand a very basic but very important stuff of Excel. Once you do even a single task in Excel, Excel will try its maximum effort to avoid the repetition of work. That means that you don't have to do each and everything manually. You have to imagine while using Excel that there is only one laziest person in the world, and that is you. So how you will work in that situations, that is the key to use. You have a lot of options available. For example, the very basic and important function of Excel is it understands a pattern. If I write 1 here and I want to generate an odd number series, so how will Excel know what numbers to generate? Obviously, we have to give a pattern to it. So after 1, I will write, okay, there, take a gap of 1 number and write 3. And then we have to record these numbers in Excel's memory. Now, what you need to do is, after identifying this pattern, you just need to go on this little small green point. So as you can see, that normal cursor sign is a thick plus sign in Excel. As we go on to this small green box, you can notice that the cursor sign changes. Hold it with the left mouse key and drag it down. So that's how you can generate the odd number series. If I want to generate the even numbers 2 and 4, I can select both of them, go on to this small point, and then instead of dragging it manually, I can also double click and send it down. Now let's try one more time. If I write 5 and 10 and identify both of them and now try to double click, it is not working. Why? What do you think? Yes, you noticed it, that the column in between these ranges is a blank column. There is nothing written on it. So you have to analyze, you have to understand that in order to double click and send it down, it needs a stopping point, or otherwise it will drag it to 1,48,000 rows. We have a lot of rows in Excel. If we go right to the bottom, control down, we can see we have 1,48,576 rows, and control home for going to first point on Excel sheet. Now in that situation, it means that if the cell is not filled, you have to drag it manually, or otherwise write anything, just literally anything in the cell behind that, and then we can double click and send it down. But what do you think? It will be dragged up to this point or this point? there is only a requirement that in order to drag, the leftmost column should be filled. But when it is filled, it will not follow only this column, but it will compare it with 3 columns and it will see which range has the maximum numbers, and it will follow this one. For example, if we write 62 and 67, this range contains the maximum numbers, so as we double click and send it down, it will follow this one. Okay. Now Excel also has some of the other functions, like for example, if I write January here and I try to double click and send it down, it will automatically generate all the months, and as the month ends, means in December, it will start the numbering again. And if we write the short form of it, double click and send it down, it will also work. Let's try Monday. Double click and MON and yes, all of them are working. Now, I just told you that Excel understands a pattern. So in that case, we had to give a pattern. But what is the pattern in January and February? How does Excel knows that when using one word, the other word should be this? And by the way, if you want to generate a consecutive number series, that means it doesn't have any of the gap, you can just write 1 and then drag it down. So as we can see that all the cells are filled with 1. But we can also notice that we have a little box here. That means it is autofill. The dragging means the fill series, and the autofill options we have, we will just see. Right now, it's copying the contents of the first cell and pasting it all over the range. What we will do is we will choose, okay, no, I want to fill series in that range. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, and boom, you have the answer to 27. Anyways, what is the pattern in January and February? Just think for a while, and we will see you in the next video.